Am I the a-hole for saying if my dad wanted a better relationship with me, he should have focused on that instead of getting married and having more kids? I, 17 don't even know how to describe my dad in a way that doesn't just sound like he was a stranger who happened to live in our house. Technically, he was there. He and my mom were married. He came home every night. But emotionally, he was gone. It felt like he was just a roommate who avoided any kind of real connection, especially with me. He worked full-time. My mom worked part-time until I was around 8, and then she went full-time too. But even when they were both working, he still spent every spare minute either in the garage fixing up cars or with his friends watching sports. His time was always his, never ours. He was more committed to engines and oil changes than to his own son. I used to beg him to let me hang out in the garage. I thought maybe if I showed an interest in what he liked, he'd finally notice me. But every time, it was the same. Go find your mom, or you're too young, or worse, get the F***K out of here. Yeah, that's how he spoke to me. Like I was annoying background noise. Like I didn't matter. It wasn't just time he withheld from us, it was money too. We struggled financially when I was growing up. There were days we barely had groceries in the fridge. I remember my mom crying quietly in the kitchen more than once, and then calling her family for help. I found out later after my mom died that my dad had money all along. He had been secretly saving the money he made fixing and selling cars and stashing it away. Not to help us. Not to buy food. Not to pay bills. He just hoarded it. Meanwhile, we went without. Still, I love my mom. She was the only parent who really was a parent. She tried to convince my dad to be more involved, to spend time with me, to show up as a father. But he always brushed her off. Looking back, I don't understand why she stayed. Maybe she was scared. Maybe she didn't think she had another choice. But she stayed and she gave me everything she could, except for the one thing I really needed, a dad who cared. When I lost her at 13, it broke me. But it didn't wake him up. Not even then. Even as I stood there drowning in grief, he didn't step in. He didn't sit me down. Didn't hug me. Didn't tell me it was going to be okay. He just went on as if nothing had changed. Like, he didn't just lose the woman who held our family together. Like I didn't just lose the only parent I ever truly had. After that, I gave up on him. And then, when I was 15, something shifted, but not in the way I hoped. He met someone. Suddenly, he was spending time with her. Then it was her and her kids. Then they moved in. Then they got married. And then came the baby. All of a sudden, this man who couldn't even sit next to me at dinner was cooking for them, helping her with chores, holding her hand, playing video games with her kids, going to baby appointments, and filling his wallet with pictures of them. Not a single photo of my mom. Not one of me. It was like we never existed. Watching him become the father and husband I always needed him to be, just for someone else, was like reliving the pain of losing my mom all over again. Then, almost a year ago, he started trying to reach out. Out of nowhere, he said he wanted to fix our relationship. He signed us up for therapy. He apologized during sessions. He said all the right things, that he regretted everything, that he knew he failed me, that he wanted to change. But it felt so hollow. Because he wasn't reaching out to me when I was alone and grieving at 13. He wasn't apologizing when I was begging him to spend time with me. He wasn't trying when I still had hope. He only decided to care after building a new life and a new family, after I became the footnote to his second chance. He even spent a huge portion of that money, the money he saved while my mom was alive, and we were going without, on his new wife, her kids, and their baby. A new car for her. New clothes. Family vacations. I got nothing. No college fund. No apology for the money. Not even a freaking card on my birthday. For almost a year of therapy, I said nothing. I sat in those sessions stone silent, because what was there to say? I didn't want to be there. I told him that. But I was forced into it. I made it difficult for him to even schedule sessions because I work a lot outside school, and I didn't want to give up my time for something I never asked for. At one point, the therapist asked to speak to me alone. She told me she could see how shut down I was, and that maybe I was holding back to punish him, or maybe I just wanted him to face reality and give up. Either way, she said if I had anything to say, anything at all, it might help everyone move forward. Even if moving forward meant going separate ways. So, in our next session, I finally spoke. I told my dad that if he had really wanted a relationship with me, he should have worked on it before he married someone else and had more kids. Because it felt like he'd chosen them again. Like he had put me last again. I told him his timing sucked, and it was too little, too late. He swore that wasn't true. That he never meant to make me feel that way. That he still wanted to work on things. That he was sorry if what he did hurt me. But I told him my feelings stand, that I meant what I said. The therapist tried to help him sit with it, but he just shook his head and said I was punishing him unfairly. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm bitter. Maybe this is how I finally feel some sense of power over the situation, by denying him what he wants now the way he denied me for 15 years. Or maybe I'm just tired. Tired of pretending that an apology erases everything. Tired of feeling like the leftover from someone else's second chance. So, am I the a-hole for telling my dad that if he wanted a better relationship with me, he should have focused on that instead of getting married and having more kids? TLDR, my 17M, dad was basically a stranger in our house growing up. He ignored me, ignored my mom, hoarded money he could have used to support us, and never made an effort to be present. After my mom died, he still didn't step up. Then 2 years later, he suddenly got really involved with his new girlfriend, her kids, and their new baby. Now he wants to be a father to me through therapy. I finally told him he should have tried before starting a new family. He says I'm punishing him. Am I?